what we have here is a Fanimation Islander DC. Yeah, this is the DC version of the Islander, which will eventually replace it, I'm sure of that. So, we're gonna see how this thing performs. Note the nice carved wood blades. The finish is bronze accent. Basically, it's like a grayish, taupey brown with gold accents. It's meant to look vintage because that's what people like for some reason. Now, the fan uses a 6-speed remote. Rather comically large one, really. And yeah, we're gonna see how it performs. So, we're going to first start on low. Now, DC fans, newer ones, they get confused at first, figuring out how they want to start, and they're finicky, and with many of them, the bugs are still being worked out. There's something in the motor housing that's rubbing, but it's not that big of a deal. Yes, this is low speed. Speed 1, according to the remote. As you can tell, it's a little faster than you expect for a low speed on an Islander with heavy carved wood blades. Now, the reason it might be a little fast is because the motor actually learns what kind of load it is dealing with and adjusts the speed accordingly. Or at least that's what I believe. I'm still new to the concept of modern DC, but speed 2. Thing's already moving air. It has a 20-degree blade pitch, again with these heavy ass wood blades. I think these wood blades were actually meant for the Palisade, but they somehow ended up with this fan. The fan itself came directly from Fanimation. Came from the giveaway pile at one of the previous meets. Going to speed 3. The blades came out of the dumpster, because of course they came out of the dumpster. Any blade set with any cosmetic imperfection ends up being returned and ends up being thrown out. Any fan that is returned, for whatever reason, cannot be resold, because Fanimation doesn't know what has happened to the fan in the meantime between purchase and return, so they're not going to take any chances. I'm thinking perhaps this one, well actually this one was a shipping screw-up. Basically, the customer wanted one finish, I think rust or something, and they got this instead. So the wrong finish was in the box when it got shipped out, so it came right back. From my initial, aside from the whatever's rubbing inside the motor housing, there's nothing wrong with this fan. It runs as it should. Speed 4. really move in the air. Speed 5. And finally, speed 6, which is high speed. It actually moves quite a lot of air. Speeds are... This high speed is actually really good, which I did not expect with these kinds of blades. It's... Really, in terms of RPM, it's like a medium, or like a medium high with a normal fan. But with a 20-degree blade pitch and the massive wide blades, it really moves the air along. It's really effective. Because when palm-bladed fans first started coming out, they were slow, not really meant for performance. They were meant more for style. But modern DC fans, with motors that can be made smaller and more powerful, or bigger and more powerful, but still drawing a low wattage and low current draw, you know, you can make huge fans, or fans with a huge, with huge blades. You can make them perform pretty well. So they're both good from a stylistic and functional standpoint. Now let's reverse it. And because it's DC, it takes a little while to coast it down before, you know, reversing direction. And it's taking this good old time getting up to speed because reasons. Now it's getting up to speed, as it should. Even on reverse, I can really feel the air moving around. And yeah, finally, we push the stop button. Yeah, it uses a brushless DC motor, which I think is rated for, or the current draw for this, I think it's 0.8 amps, which, yeah, isn't bad. Considering the performance, I mean, that's a very good draw. The thing that we're still trying to work out with brushless or with DC fans are the kinks. Because they use driver boards in order to operate, the boards tend to get weird and things tend to not work as desired. But this one works as it should. Anyway, there you have it, a DC Fanimation Islander.